Actually, download the free app, or if you missed it, you can also just go to the website at www.1690am the one, and the broadcast will be aired later, so it's archived. So again, take advantage of that opportunity. Again, we want to thank you for tuning into the show tonight. I have none other than Mr. Dale Gines, one of only 4,000 individuals in the country that actually knows the ins and outs about economic development. We did a wonderful documentary about a month ago called 7 a.m. The reason why so many folks are broke, reason why so many individuals within our community are stressed. It has something to do with economics. So, again, I'm very pleased to have none other than Mr. Dale Gines on the show tonight to talk about the Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program and the effects that it can have on not only North Omaha, but individuals from around the state. So we'll have him calling in about maybe 10 minutes, and we'll get more in depth about the Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program. I want to read. Also, I want to thank our sponsor, Big Mama's Kitchen and Catering, located on the Turning Point campus in the Omaha, Nebraska, Douglas County area. Also have a sandwich shop located on 24th and Lake. So please take an opportunity to go down and enjoy some great food, great fun, great friends at Big Mama's Kitchen and Catering. It's been televised on National Dine Dinner Digest. Also, every third Saturday of the month, from 5 to 7 p.m., we do what we call Dine Dinner Digest. We had a phenomenal film called 7 a.m. and we had Mr. Dale Gines and had Mr. Winsley Duran from the REACH program from the Omaha Chamber. Very lively discussion, and we're looking forward to our next documentary on Dine Dinner Digest. Again, folks, in a few minutes we'll have Mr. Dale Gines calling in to talk about the 2015 Black Men United Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program Executive Summary. So stay tuned to learn more how you or anyone interested in the trades can get involved with this program. Real Men Read. Reading is the foundation for everything. So many individuals, particularly within the community of color, we have a problem with literacy. And so the Real Men Read program, which we went to Chicago, matter of fact, and partnered with the Black Star Project, Mr. Philip Jackson, big up to Philip Jackson, CEO and founder of the Black Star Project. And we got this program, it's called Real Men Read. And what it does is it get individuals who look like them, black men, because CDC says that black men has a positive impact on the educational growth of their young children. And so what we wanted to do was get men who look like them from all fabrics of life to be able to go into the schools and interact with our young children and really showcase the power of black men reading and being read to by our young children. Real Men Read brings men into the classroom to read and mentor children into the kindergarten to sixth grade. Real Men Read encourages kids to read and inspire them towards a lifelong love of reading. The program shows that real men do read and value education. The goal of the program is to improve the literacy skills, reading confidence, and testing performance. The Omaha Real Men Read initiative addresses literacy as a conduit to educate, empower, engage the African American community at large in narrowing the academic achievement gap. If you would like to volunteer as a reader, please email Willie Hamilton at will@blackmenunited.org or Dennis Anderson at mrsterling09@gmail.com, or contact either one via Facebook. So we do have a Facebook page. Also, I want to thank PRI for bringing this to my attention. PRI is a policy research and innovation. The founder, Mr. Jack Dunn, and now is acting executive director, Ms. Karen Abrams, has again brought this to my attention, and it has been held tomorrow, October 27th, between 6:30 a.m. and 8 at the Community Cafe in the Lake Point Center, 2401 Lake Street. Policy and Research Innovation is asking for answers to some key questions about the City of Omaha application to the federal government for Promised Zone designation for North Omaha. PRI has learned that the City of Omaha Office of the Mayor is applying for the 2015 Promised Zone designation through the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. The city has invited some key individuals to participate in the resident and community engagement. We're going to get back to this, so we're going to answer this phone call with my good friend, Mr. Doug Hines. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Not much, nothing much. First of all, thank you so much for calling into the show. And also, thank you for all the work that you do in the community. I know you get a lot more accolades when you go outside the state. But I just want to thank you first before we get started on the show for everything you do, not only for my organization, but as many folks as you possibly can. So, welcome to the show.
I did be here, man.
Yep, yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, take a little 1 to 2 minute intro. I know you probably need about 10 minutes, but we only going to give you a minute or two to introduce yourself briefly and what you do.
Basically, I really focus on a lot of economic stuff. You know, this goes way back to my time in Omaha, early on, coming from banking, and always born and raised in North Omaha. But growing up, started my career. Really, my first real job was in banking. All of my early banking gigs were in North Omaha. You know, I was an in-store banker at U.S. Bank, 52nd and Ames in the Bakers. Then I moved down to 30th and Ames at the Commercial Federal Bank back then. Then I moved up to 30th and Weber, further up at Florence, and that's where I kind of got into the business side of it, which was a small business banker. And now, and then after that, I went back to Wells Fargo as a business banker at 52nd and Ames. And finally, when I left there, I went to run an organization called Omaha Small Business Network. Most of you in Omaha may know what that is, off 24th and Lake. Then a couple jobs after that, and I'm where I'm at, which is at the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. And so really it was during the banking days, though, that, because I've always been fairly active, in the community, going back to 17. Sometimes it was in the church. Sometimes it was, just straight up in the community. Sometimes, and then I kind of moved into the economic development and financial space, because I really realized that, that's the foundation of a community, is your economic base. So I've been working on that ever since. Different formats, revising, just developing how I do different things in that area, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just trying to get us to be, as African Americans, as Black people in America, as Black people in Omaha, to a higher degree of economic freedom and economic control. Which, if you get economic freedom and control, you have better control of your community. So that's the goal.
And I really want to lay the framework, because this is your area of expertise, if you will. Most of the positions that you talked about and mentioned earlier had something to do with either banking, small business development, and things of that nature. So you would basically call yourself an expert, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been called an expert. I mean, I kind of let other people do that. I just do what I've been educated and been working on to do, man. And that's kind of this. And so if people want to call me an expert, then, I suppose I make that qualification. But the reality is I don't even care. I mean, at the end of the day, once you get past a certain age, you just want to see the vision that you have and been working on, man, come to fruition. And at this point, I mean, honestly, I will stand up on stage with any Black person or anybody who wants to talk about Black issues in America and argue that if you aren't talking about economic control and economic self-determinism as your first priority, then you are on the wrong path. And I can say that as confidently and as dogmatically as possible. And I think I can make a really strong argument as to why that's the case. You know, some people may say culture, some people may say family structure, but until you understand this very simple fact that all of those things are built upon your economic control, because if you don't do that, if you're not going with that as your ambition, it's very hard to control your community, and therefore it's hard to control your family. Point in case, you know, they say one of the number one reasons that people get divorced is because of finance. So you got a lot of issues around that, and to me, that's just the way that we have to focus. It doesn't mean we stop doing all the other things. It doesn't mean we stop some of the activism we're doing. Those things are important. But what I talk about is reprioritizing. Those things are important, but they shouldn't be the most important things. And I think that's the difference. Is right now people are putting the cart ahead of the horse when they talk about social justice, civil rights, etc., without understanding that it doesn't matter how many times people say that you have civil rights until you can make your civil rights truthful by virtue of your position of power, which in America really is economic in nature. After you get physical freedom, then you're going to be stuck, and we see that now. So that's a kind of long answer to a short question, but I mean, I think people have to understand at least where I'm coming from as we talk about some of the programs that we're working on.
And what I'm really trying to get at is this. I know you're being a little bit humble here, but if you are having a problem with your heart, you want somebody who has expertise as a heart surgeon. If you're dealing with a tooth, you wouldn't want to have a doctor dealing with your tooth. You want to have a dentist, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is that you have the expertise, only one of 4,000 in the country that do this type of work. You've done it in the past. You work for the Federal Reserve Bank. You're working on your doctorate degree. For the last 10 to 15 years, 20 years, this is what you've been doing. So that's why it was such a natural fit for me to go out and say, look, we want to create this at that time program, but I didn't know what it was. I knew we had went into the prisons, and we had talked to some individuals, and then we came back, and then I wanted to talk to you about it. But I wanted to go to someone who had the expertise that knew how to put this together and what impact it would have on a segment of individuals moving forward. The urban pre-vocational program was brought about how and why?
You thought of it.
I know I thought about it, but you actually put it in fruition. How did you actually do it?
I think we even need to step back one step further and talk about why me and you work together.
Okay, well.
I think people really need to understand that, because it's not, I got a certain skill set, but it's more than that. I mean, I think, and this is where I think the audience really needs to understand, and I don't know how many people are watching or listening, but the reason me and you work together is because we fundamentally share the same passion for the same group of people that we put at the forefront. And I think people need to understand that is that we both care about grassroots, Joe Blow, ex-felon, people on, just your average, everyday on the grind, black family. And not just black family, but black men, black women, black children, and poor people in our community. And to me, that other people say it, but I think from my background, what I've always been passionate about, from your background, the people that you work on way more than me in the community, that's why we work together, is because we're aligned on the people that we serve. And I don't like to get cynical, but I'm just not sure that a lot of black leadership really has that audience as their primary concern. They may say they do, but I'm just not sure.
Well, thank you, because we do go way back, even before you took your position at the Federal Reserve Bank. We was working in the community in the District 2 neighborhood coalition, and you was the president back then. So you always have been a grassroots individual like myself, and those are the individuals that are my heart and my passion is my community. Those who do not have a voice, the least fortunate ones, the incarcerated ones, the ones that have been tossed aside. Those are the individuals that I'm feel most comfortable being around. And I do agree with you 150%. There's a lot of organizations out there that you would think would have those individuals in their mission statement, but are far from it, just like elected officials. And that's really one of the main reasons why I admire you so much, is that even with all the talent and all the education that you have, not only have you never forgot where you came from, you have never left where you came from, and yet you still rise. So I appreciate you giving that little backdrop on how we have connected over the years, and where our heart is truly with the community. So we actually went into the Tecumseh State Penitentiary and met with a large group of folks in Harambe. And we was meeting with individuals who were doing 50 years to life, 25 to life, double life. Then we had the young cats who was coming in. And these OGs were saying, look, Willie, a lot of us will never see the light of day. Will never see the light of day. But that's a lot of these young brothers who are coming through here who never had male figures and never had the opportunity to be able to really do something with their lives. Those are the ones that we're trying to reach. He's saying, but it seems like the community is out of touch with those individuals, or either they don't know or they don't care. And that a lot of the opportunities that they think we have, we don't, because of all the barriers. He say, but there's a couple things that we can really thrive in, and we don't have to worry about so many of the barriers. And they start talking about entrepreneurship, small business development, and start talking about the trades. See, a lot of these guys would love to have the trades, but those programs are not offered it. Thereby came the Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program. So we actually went, and I went to you and told you basically what it was going about, and you basically helped us bring this thing to fruition. So how do you do that? Walk us through it.
Well, I think the good thing about it is we are at the right place and the right time, and the reason that I say that is because obviously there's been for a few reasons. First, there's been a shift in the nation back to vocational training. I mean, for a while, everybody had vocational training. It was a big thing. We moved away from it. Everybody started saying college, 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 which is very much still important. But getting a tangible skill that can't be outsourced, real skill, hands-on skill ability that can't be outsourced over to China is huge. But also, a few things. One, in Omaha, we're going to have over $3 billion in public construction coming up over the next 15 years. So you have a huge market opportunity right now where these folks, there's an article in Omaha World Herald that said if they can't find workers in Omaha, they may have to go outside to get workers. And so I'm sitting here like, we got the ability to put a program together that helps everybody win. The construction companies need workers. A lot of folks, low income folks, are looking for jobs that can pay a little bit more money. Well, we can put a training together that helps connect them with construction firms that need workers. the felony or the record barrier, the incarceration issue. Not all of them, but a lot of construction firms are willing to put people who have been prior offenders on a job. So when you look at all of these factors and the fact that even the guys in the prison are saying y'all need to create something that can work for the young guys, because we all know you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But I believe that a lot of young guys, not all of them, because you're going to have a lot of knuckleheads, but a lot of them, if we could put something in front of them that's real, that gives them an opportunity to learn a skill set that maybe they didn't have, that we can do it in a way that affirms them as an individual with strengths and talent and positivity, and then be a resource network and support for them as they move on into their career, then we're winning. I mean, because when we sat in there, and I keep telling you I want to get back into the prison, but when we sat in there, the number of guys that came up and talked to me afterwards that were saying, yeah, man, I ran a business, I used to run this, I used to do this, this was what I did. And I'm like, all of this talent is locked up. And then when we come out, we're not giving these guys and lady, we're not giving them the kind of the support network that they need to come back and really help rebuild themselves and rebuild their community. Because I'm really big on you have an obligation beyond yourself, and that's family and then community. And we need to put that in front of these folks that are coming out and saying, yeah, maybe you messed up, you did something wrong. That doesn't change your moral, ethical obligation to support and build your community. But right now, these guys are coming out and finding it very hard to navigate back into society because they're getting so many obstacles. And so it's no wonder why recidivism is so high. So with our program, what I'm really hoping is, at least with the core curriculum, when I finish designing the soft skills curriculum, that we can really put something in place that lets these guys know, one, that they're valued, two, that they're talented, and three, that they have non-negotiable strengths. They have strengths that they were born with, and they just need to utilize. And I think if we do that, we will have a good success rate and benefit our community.
I think one of the things that you did uniquely was add the Gallup Strength Finder. Talk a little bit about that, because a lot of times you never hear about that. All you hear about all the negative, whether it be a felony or whether it be other things. So talk a little bit about why it was so important to add that component into the program.
Right, and this is very important because here's where I think people lose people. People lose people because they think if I just give them technical knowledge or knowledge of how to do something, then that's all that they need. Well, no, people are complex individuals. Humans are very complex. And so you can have a lot of knowledge in your head, but you may have emotional self-esteem issues. You may have issues with relationships, all of these different issues that kind of happen, particularly with people who end up being incarcerated often. And if we don't dig into the core of who a person is, and I always go back to Jesus. I mean, when you look at Jesus in the New Testament, when he was doing what he was doing, and he was reaching out to, those that the regular religious folks would reach out to. So he's reaching out to hookers, drunkards, tax collectors. His first thing wasn't to look at the role that they had. So he wasn't looking at Mary Magdalene, for example, as a hooker. He looked at her first as a person, and then he reached out to that person, and he talked directly to who that person was, not who that label was. And so with these guys, Gallup Strengths is very important because for those who aren't familiar, what Gallup Strengths Finders is you can go online and you can take a test and rank your top strengths. Usually they start with your top 5 strengths. You can get more. And the thing about it is everybody has strengths. So now we're dealing with a lot of guys who have been demeaned, devalued most of their life. whether it's in the media, whether it's by relationships, whether it's by being incarcerated and stigma of that. What Gallup Strengths does is it says, look, these are your strengths. These are your top 5 strengths. It's non-negotiable. Nobody can take these away from you. They are in you. So the question is not whether you have strengths, whether you have talent, whether you have ability. The question then becomes, what are you going to do with it? And that's a different approach than a lot of things which start with, what are your negatives? Oh, you got a problem with anxiety. You got a problem with anger. You got a problem with X, Y, Z. So now you automatically set somebody up psychologically to dwell on everything that they're not. Gallup StrengthsFinder starts with, this is what you are. This is what your natural innate strengths are. Let's focus on building those, and yeah, we'll work on getting rid of the negative stuff. But you want to focus on your strengths because those are the things that you're going to naturally excel at and utilize in life. So let's work on that and start rebuilding that sense of self-esteem in that individual, and move past the label, the stigma of being unemployed, underemployed, being an ex-felon, whatever somebody's going to label you at. We move past that. We get back to the real human in that person, and then we start building from there.
Absolutely. And another thing we did was we actually did the work. We actually met with not only the returning citizens, we also met with the unions, and we listened to their concerns. And you sat in those meetings and talk a little bit about what were the most concerns that those individuals had, and how did you fit that into the summary or the program itself?
Well, I think the unions were mostly the unions had 2 primary concerns. The one was the fact that they were worried that we may duplicate their apprentice program, and so we were pretty clear with them that no, we're not an apprentice program. That's not what we do. We're a pre-vocational program. So really, if we do our job right, they're going to have a much higher level quality of people if they want to join a union, be able to join. Because once you come out through our 8-week program, 140 hours, we're going to have check boxes to make sure that you passed modules, that you participated on, you came on time, you didn't miss days, that you learned a higher level of skill set. And so when that person comes out on the back end of that program and they go in front of a union and they say, hey, I want to be there, they can take this whole portfolio that they got from our program and say, look, I never missed a day. I was only late one time. These are all the skills that I learned, soft skills, technical skills, all of that. I'm going to be a great candidate. It's the same thing they could tell to a potential employer. Yeah. So that was the first concern. And I was really like, no, we're actually doing you a job that you could be doing. We're taking, burden off of you by giving you a higher quality potential candidate. Right. The second concern kind of goes back to what I just said, was they were like, well, we tried this before and we just weren't able to do it. And I don't know if you remember what I said in there. I was like, well, I don't go out trying. Yeah, I don't go out trying to be teach people how to do union work. Why would you go out and try to reach out to people in the community?
Right.
Without having the talent or skill set to be able to do that, and that's why everything they were doing was failing. So, with the unions, if they're smart, they'll be on our team. Which a lot of them, particularly construction and labor, or carpenters union and labor. And the others is hit or miss because different unions have different qualifications. But, we basically just made our case to them, and I think because of that, a lot of them bought off on it.
And we actually had 12 of the trades in the room at the same time, and that was very rare. And the reason being was $3 billion was getting ready to hit the table, and they did not have enough employees or skilled labor to be able to do this $3 billion worth of work. So at the end of the day, it's always about the money. Mm-hmm. But another reason why we wanted to connect with the union was the brotherhood or the mentoring component. Talk a little bit about why that was important, on why we wanted to connect with the unions.
I think, people really need to, again, come back to humanity. I mean, for the people that are listening, I just want you to imagine where you're in a world where you have no support, you have no network, you have nobody that can show you what to do, you have no team behind you, all of those different things, and you're trying to do better in your life. It's very, very hard, because humans by nature are social animals. We are a group-based species. And so the benefit of the union is that they have what is called a brotherhood. Now, that's not to say that some of these unions have a problem with race, but the ones that particularly that we tend to work with are a lot better at that. So, but the brotherhood is a network. I mean, it's a process. One, it's a defined process of how you can grow and improve a union, from apprentice to journeyman, etc. Two, when you come in, you are on a team of people that are working with you and advocating on your behalf, and so you're rolling with a crew. That helps you get integrated into a new world, so that you don't feel like that you were in a gang or whatever when you went in and you were coming out. Now you don't have to. You have a similar type of support system of people that are on your team and they're going to ride and advocate for you. So really, this is important because it helps people get around people that are trying to do better, that are looking out for them, and that can make all the difference to an individual who's really coming out and trying to find their way. And we keep talking about ex-felons and ex-incarceration, but it's not even that. It's just your average brother or sister who just wants something in life, who wants to be employed, who wants to get in a situation where they want to grow. That's what a union can provide. Now, that's not all we're stressing, but that is one of the avenues of growth that we're going to be providing our students.
Right. And there were some other things as well, what we wanted to include in our summary, to make sure that it had the best possible chance of being successful. And Dale actually went to the University of Nebraska Lincoln. Talk a little bit about how that all transpired.
Well, I honestly don't even remember how we first heard about the pre-vocational training, the curriculum that UNL had. So basically, UNL got a grant from the Department of Labor a while back, and within that grant, it was to create what is called a synergy program, because it was big on the green and renewable energy. But the core of that program is really vocational, pre-vocational training. And so we started, when we found the curriculum, we were looking at it and we were like, this is perfect. For our technical side of curriculum, this curriculum is perfect because it does everything that we want, and we don't really don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so I talked to the guys that put it together and I said, hey, this is what we want to do. Can we use your curriculum? And they said, absolutely. They said, this is what we created it for, was for folks like you guys. So that's the curriculum that we're using. And so, when we go out and we tell people about the core, at least the technical side of the curriculum, we can be straightforward and tell them that, look, this is a curriculum that was created on a grant from the Department of Labor, put together by the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. So it's not just us pulling some curriculum off the shelf. This is something that was designed specifically for what it is we're trying to do.
And some other things we're doing with this is, it's not just enough to train someone to do a job. You have to have those soft skills. So talk a little bit about the soft skills or wraparound skills that we included in this program.
And this is very important. And in fact, this is equal to or more important than the technical skills. Because really, the thing about the trades is that a lot of the people that we've talked to said, just give me a body. If they're willing to work, we can train them. Now, they're not going to be as sophisticated in terms of their skill set as going through our program. But a lot of that, and that's why I keep saying people just want bodies. They want folks. They really need folks to come in and work. So, for us, the soft skills, though, are the important part, because most people get fired not because their technical ability. They get fired because they don't like how the boss is talking to them. They can't navigate personal situations at home. They have a lot of these other social pressures that they're facing outside of work. They can't get along with a coworker, maybe. All of these different things. And so we are putting things in place to really help folks understand how to navigate that. I mean, to me, one of the big ones is dealing with anger. Anger issues and frustration issues. Dealing with issues of authority, learning how to be patient, and make a decision when you're ready and not when someone kind of forces you to. I can use a personal example for myself. There were people started knowing how to get to me. They knew that I didn't like to be perceived as being disrespected. People knew that they could provoke me to do something stupid. As smart as I was, they knew that they could push my buttons and I would fly off the handle, and then it would make me look bad. And ultimately, that cost me a job. It cost our community $3 million. So it's important that we put those fundamental skills in there to help people say, this is how I live my life. This is how I need to live my life. And that's going to make me do better on the job. It's going to make me have a happier life, a happier home life, a better participant in the community, all of those different things. And so, talking about things like goal setting, financial literacy, talking about things like, anger management, talking about things like delayed gratification, all of these different things, that people, really need to be successful. And we're going to make sure that they're in that program.
There's three things that we hope to accomplish, and those are: students have demonstrated a high level of competency in the basic trade skills, soft skills, and life management. Students will be aware of other career enhancement opportunities, including college, union halls, or other certificate-based training, and students will be connected to a potential job opportunities in the construction or vocational space in Omaha. We're actually, it's going to be like a feeder to a lot of the other programs who are having the problem getting the people that we serve the best. Would you say that's accurate?
That's very accurate. I mean, we want to use Black Men United's grassroots credibility to bring this audience, folks that, work with, that you've cultivated relationships with, and really give them an opportunity to grow as a person through finding, an employment and then giving them a skill. That's the goal. At the end of the day, our goal is to help people be better, and the way we want to help them be better will ultimately help them have a better lifestyle, a better job opportunity, the community have a better community, the construction worker have a better employee, a union have a better apprentice, have a reduction in crime, so improve the whole Omaha community, reduction in recidivism, so save money on penitentiary costs, all of these different things. Obviously, we're just a part of that equation, but I think we can be a very powerful part. So, that's what we want to do.
And that's why another thing that we are non-patient people. We have to learn to be patient and make sure that we set the foundation correctly. Because one of the things that we want to do is have a sustainability and not be dependent on other agencies or individuals. Why is this program going to be unique, and how do we separate ourselves from other programs out there?
I think straight up, we're unique simply because nobody else is doing it. And it's a huge, huge need. And even the people that are doing things similar are not doing it with the audience that we're targeting, which is the audience that everybody wants to target. Folks want to find a way to, address the lower skilled workers, the returning citizens, folks that have been out of employment for a while. I mean, people want to find a way to address those audiences. And I believe we have the program to be able to do it. Right now, we just need the funding support.
And I want to say this. People say, well, this program do not how did they say, do not have the time recognition, or do not have the backing to be able to get funded. And I'm kind of peculiar with that, because there's a lot of organizations that have started up and gotten serious amount of money without any background work whatsoever. But when you have the governor, when you have the mayor, when you have the chamber, when you have Senator Fisher, Senator Johans, Brad Ashford, when you have 5 of the 7 city council, when you have over 10 state senators and over 15 organizations, all in support of this. Why isn't it getting funded?
Dude, I mean, honestly, I really don't know. I mean, maybe because of your activist. I mean, you spoke out on some pretty tough issues in the past, and maybe people don't like that. Maybe it's me. Maybe people are like, hey, this guy's too forceful in his positions on economics, and we don't like that. Maybe it's people that don't like us for whatever reason, which is what it is. But I mean, what I'm real sure about is that if people aren't funding us or they're not committed to funding us, it's not because they don't believe in what we're trying to do. They may believe we can't do it, which I strongly disagree with, but I highly doubt that there's anybody out there that would argue with us with the need that we're trying to fill. And so for me, it's frustrating. I mean, honestly, this should have been funded. It should have been funded a long time ago. For whatever reason, it wasn't. But I mean, the simple fact of what it is that we're trying to do, all the forces that are in play, in terms of the $1 billion in construction, the industry saying that they need workers, the union saying that they need apprentices, the community, the people in the pen and others saying that this is something that needs to happen. It's really baffling to me that we haven't got more support than what we've gotten. We got support from the mayor, we got support from the governor, we got support from Dick Davis, early on. We got support from, I think it was the Fund for Omaha, right?
Omaha Community Foundation, Omaha Venture Group.
Omaha Venture Group.
Yeah.
And a couple others. I can't remember. But what's happened is it's all been a little money, which not enough to get over the hurdle, the startup hurdle. And as a result, we keep trying to piecemeal it as opposed to, having a group of funders come in and say, we're gonna support this, we're gonna get behind it, we're gonna pilot it the first year, and we're gonna see. And then if it doesn't work, that's on us. If we get the upfront money and we can't pull it off, we don't do it right, we're not getting the outcome like anybody else, don't give us any more money. But the amount of philanthropic dollars that are going around Omaha for everything else, when we have something that's a training program that really benefits so many different people, I don't understand why more people haven't come stronger. So we're just gonna keep walking the walk, man. I mean, we're gonna keep walking the walk. We're provisionally certified by the Nebraska Department of Education. So we actually went through that whole application process to get certified as the actual adult educational school. We just need to finish the build out of our facility, and we'll get stamped, and we'll be a formal school in the state of Nebraska. So we've done everything right. We've done everything by the book. So now it's the community's time to come behind us and say, yes, we're on board.
I think the community is already on board. Elected officials.
When I say community, I'm not talking about our community alone. I'm talking about the entire Omaha community that wants to see positive improvement across low-income individuals, and particularly in North Omaha and African Americans specifically.
And what's so sad about this deal is this: everyone is talking economic empowerment, small business, and development. It is a way to be able to build up a community. We see that over in South Omaha. Everyone is not only utilizing colleges, but also utilizing spaces within the community where individuals who don't feel comfortable with going on college campus, being in the community, easy access, on the bus line, that facility is located right here in the heart of North Omaha. So we've taken all the excuses away, and we got so much space, and that's why the money that they would give would fund other places. But when you're talking about you have access at one time over 40,000 square feet, you do the math.
And I want to make something clear. I want to make something really clear. Even though we're located in North Omaha, and probably a lot of our people, just because of the poverty levels, be from North Omaha, This is not a North Omaha alone project. This is a Omaha project. I mean, we will be taking people from the four corners of the city, as long as as long as they want to come in and learn, they can pass the entry level exam. It doesn't matter. There's people that are struggling all across the city. I mean, I think they've seen a rate rise in the poverty rate out in Memphis. So I think it's important for people to understand that don't make this a black thing. Yeah, we are Black Men United, but this is not just a black program. This is a program to help people who need it, want it, and are willing to put in the work and the time do better in their life, do the construction and trade if that's where they want to go.
And I'm glad you mentioned that fact because it's even though the focus and is located in North Omaha, the interstate is 2 blocks away from our facility, so you can actually
You can
get on the
you can
interstate and go any way that you want to.
20 minutes.
Yeah, and we right 2 doors down from the police station. So if safety you feel may be an issue, 2 doors down right from the police station. So I'm glad that you talked about that because the South Sudan, they want to get involved with this. The Carolina from the center, Latino Center of the Midlands, they're getting ready to take a tour because, as you know, there's a lot of a large influx of Latinos in North Omaha. So no, even though the focus, and even though it's located in North Omaha, any and everyone is welcome to come to the facility and take part in these programs. So I'm glad you said that. So again, folks, the Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program, we've had to change the dates a couple of times. As far as open house, we're going to do it on a smaller scale. And Dale, could you talk a little bit about that, and then maybe, solidify a date on when we may be kicking off this program?
Well, really, we want to pilot this program with at least 4 students. So this is a brand new It's only 4 weeks. It's on a Saturday, and it's about 6 hours a Saturday, and then you have a 10-hour internship. So it's a really short program, and it's a very introductory program, and it's really designed for about the 18, 19, 24, 25-year-olds who really just want to get that going. I mean, we work to help them connect with potential employers. We help connect them with internships. We give them some very, very basic skills. They just have to come in and show the work ethic and get out and do some on-the-job training. So, really it's coming up. Our goal is to start it within 3 weeks. As soon as we hit our number of 4 committed, we'll start it. We'll run the pilot, and then we'll roll with it. And so we really want to do some things with this program, again, with like DCYC, which is the Youth Correctional Facility, even some of the other correctional facilities. But really, we want to target this program because it's through the Office of Violence Prevention at kind of this emerging, adulthood group, these young adults that really just need to begin to get some traction in the labor market. And the good thing about it is that, if they can make it through this program, we'll give them preferred consideration when we get the big program off the ground for the 13-week program. But this one, it's going to be geared towards a lot of soft skills, not a lot of technical skills. We're going to leave that on the back end of our workforce so that they won't be as skilled. They won't have demonstrated as much as what was demonstrated, will be demonstrated by the students that come out of the big pre-vocational program. But this Intro to the Trades program is still a good program. So if you got young men, mothers, if you got young men, even daughters, that you think need some motivation and some opportunity to get a little bit of skills and to get out into the labor market, you need to hook them up with it. Go on the blackmenunited.org under the programs tab, and there's an application right online. Knock it out, because as soon as we hit 4 confirmed, we're going to launch. So I'm hoping we can do that within about 3 to 4 weeks to get this first class off the ground, get the pilot, see how it goes, make any adjustments that we need to make.
Absolutely. So again, Dale, I want to thank you so much. I know you're busy working for on your full-time job and as a COO of the program. I want to thank you for all that you do. Is there anything that we may have left off that we should be talking about right about now?
Honestly, I think we hit it all.
I think so.
I mean,
I think so
you know,
too.
we just been working. I mean, we've been working on this now for a year and a half. So, you know, we're obviously committed to it. It's been a little bit slow, not as much early support as we would have hoped, but we do have support. You know, we just need a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
We need
Yes,
our
sir.
Omaha community. We need our Omaha community to step up.
Okay then. Again, Dell, we appreciate you calling in to Real Talk, and really give us a good overview of the Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program. If you want to learn more about this program, and or how you can either donate or be a part of this, you can go to our website at www.blackmenunited.org. Thank you so much, Dell, for calling in tonight.
All right, man. Take care.
You too. Again, folks, we want to thank Mr. Dell Guines for all he do for not only his work with the Federal Reserve Bank, but what he do in the community. I mean, he do a lot, and people just don't give this man the right consideration that I feel he should have. So, hopefully, Black Men United and the work that we do with that will be a way for us to do that. Again, folks, I want to talk to you real quickly about tomorrow night. This is a press release that was issued by the Policy Research and Innovation in partnership with several other organizations. The question is about the Promise Zone designation for North Omaha. First of all, let me I think I went off and left it. No, I got it. What is the Promise Zone? This is what I'm looking for. The City of Omaha, the Office of the Mayor, is applying for the 2015 Promise Zone designation through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. As HUD, the Promise Zone initiative seeks to revitalize high-poverty communities by creating jobs and economic activity, improving educational opportunities, reducing serious and violent crime, leveraging private capital, and assisting local leaders in navigating the federal programs. If the designation is awarded, Omaha will be eligible to receive preference points on grants targeted within the Promise Zone from the federal government. Please note there is no monetary award associated with the Promise Zone designation. Now, if you look at the Promise Zone, I don't have the map with me. It basically 68111, 68110, 68104. I think legislative district 13. I don't know what that incorporates, but each is 72nd. You get my point. The boundaries of the Promise Zone are illustrated in the attached map and incorporate the Empowerment Network, the North Omaha Village Zone, the 75 North Project, the Prospect Village Initiative, Metro Community College, 30th Street Transportation Corridor. Community revitalization is not solely accomplished by city government, and we recognize there are many community stakeholders and partners that contribute greatly to this work. For this reason, we felt it was essential to make the goals and the activities of our application broad enough to incorporate all efforts into the plan. To encompass all potential partnerships, work plan for the proposed area, and help make our application successful, we need information from you. The City of Omaha will be holding a resident and community engagement meeting on Tuesday, October 27th, between 6:30 and 8 at the Community Cafe in the Lake Point Center, 2401 Lake Street. The City of Omaha goals and activities for the Promise Zone designation are attached. Please review these information to determine how your agency's activity fit into the overall plan. I already got a problem with it, but I'll wait until I get at the meeting tomorrow. There were some questions. I guess PRI. I thought these were some very good questions. Is this an initiative of the mayor's office, of the city council, of the city planning department, or MAPPA? Who initiated this application? How were the borders of the Promise Zone decided? How will the Promise Zone designation affect community nonprofits? What provisions have been made for the residents of North Omaha to be aware of and have a say in this application? How is the broader community involved in this process? Who are the representatives of the Omaha community currently involved in the project? Which of those community representatives live within the designated Promise Zone boundaries? That was a good one. Who's included from outside it? Who are the representatives of the North Omaha-based nonprofit community currently included? Good question. Who's included from the nonprofit sector based outside? Even better question. Who is the representative of the North Omaha-based business community currently included? Why only one public, ooh, this is a really good one. Why only one public hearing for 1.5 hours on this current application? Are any other public meetings planned? Why hasn't the public been informed via press release of the city plan to apply for this designation? How many public and private meetings have already been held regarding the current application, and who has been involved in those meetings? So I think they really raised some really good questions, and I think we all need to be at this meeting to get some of these answers, because I think we deserve the answers to these questions. What about you? What are the requirements of the project supported by the Promise Zone? So again, folks, tomorrow we want to thank, again, the Policy Research and Innovation, PRI, Ms. Karen Abrams, the Acting Executive Director, for really getting this information out and to pose some just thought-provoking questions. And I think some good questions that we should be asking and requesting answers to. Again, tomorrow, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Community Cafe at the Lake Point Center, 2401 Lake Street. Again, thank you. Real quick, Intro to the Trades training. Again, sign up. You can actually go to our website, www.blackmenunited.com. Actually download the application and fill it out. Or you can actually just print it out and mail it to Black Men United 4200 North 30th Street, Omaha, Nebraska 68111. The Intro to the Trades training, sign up. What this course will do for you is give you the basic skills to prepare you for entry-level construction work, teach you the key skills to get and keep a job, support you with your job search efforts, and connect you with potential employers, give you the hands-on training with a short internship, provide you with a certificate of completion, and a letter of recommendation for your resume. This course consists of the following: basic construction math and measurement, CPR certification, interviewing skills and strategies, dealing with workplace frustration, job search strategies, one-on-one support, and more. To cap off the program, receive a certificate of completion. A student may complete a 10-hour arranged internship at a local construction or vocational company in Omaha. This program is targeted to individuals from the age of 18 to 25. However, if you are older or interested, exceptions can be made. Classes begin soon. If there are any questions, please email me at will@blackmenunited.org. So, again, we wanna thank you so much for tuning into the show. Mr. Dale Gines, phenomenal individual. He really doesn't get the credit he deserves. But no one can dispute his skill set and his ability to be able to do this, since he already have done it in the past. So we are blessed to have him as part of the overall concept and actually overseeing the urban pre-vocational training program. This is a win-win for everybody. We have did the work. I don't think no one is filling this niche but us. We have did all the things as far as getting the buy-in from all the elected officials, businesses. We have reached out to other nonprofits, um, built partnerships, and but the fact of the matter is, all the people who have given us data boys have not followed through with the funding that we need to really, do this program the right way. But either way, it's going to get done. The fact of the matter is, we as a community have to learn to do things for ourselves, and that's what we're trying to do with Black Men United Urban Pre-Vocational Training Program. In a year or two, we don't have to worry about grants. We don't have to worry about who the next mayor. We don't have to worry about who the next governor will be, because our program will be self-sustaining, because it's built on measurable outcomes. We don't get our measurable outcomes, we don't get funded, and we're cool with that. But at least give us an opportunity to be able to do it. And we've did everything that we were supposed to do, from getting the necessary support from all elected officials to buy in, from the community, from the organizations, from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Department of Education and Labor, all the partnerships from the Chamber, getting ready to solidify our partnership with Metro Community College, the City of Omaha, the backing of Governor Ricketts. What else do we need to do as far as getting this project off the ground? But Sam, it is what it is. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the show tonight. My name is Willie Hamilton. I can be reached or emailed at will@blackmenunited.org. Folks, everybody's talking about how do we build capacity within our community. Everybody's talking about how we need to build a relationship with each other and be able to focus on the business or changing the culture of doing business within our community. That's what we're doing at the Commodity Center. We're allowing a lot of other organizations to utilize that space because it's about the community. But we need your help. So we have a free, again, Facebook page. Also, we're kicking off our campaign again for, I can't think of the name of the campaign right now. But the GoFundMe campaign, we kicking that campaign off. You can always donate, so you can go to our Facebook page. Also, we will be becoming a membership organization. So stay tuned for more. If you want to become a member of Black Men United, will be how you'll be able to do it. So we're excited about that. Also, we're in the process of joining forces or building a partnership, if you will, with FessUpApparel.com. So we'll be selling a lot of Black Men United gear and FessUp gear on our Facebook and our website page. Stay tuned. FessUp have some phenomenal gear, one of the leading apparel companies in the Midwest. So they came here about maybe 4 or 5 years back. We're going to bring it back, and we're going to have a partnership. They're actually going to be moving in our building. So we're looking maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks. We'll have a kickoff of FessUp Apparel in the ONE. Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. It's approximately 8:15, so we're going to call it a short night tonight. And we want to thank everyone for really supporting Black Men United and what we do. So if you have any questions about the Real Men Read program and how you can get involved, if you want to become and be a speaker at the Hungry Club, you can contact us via the email at will@blackmenunited.org as well. Also, if you have a documentary that you would like to share, please give me a call, or you can email me as well, and maybe we can partner and do it on our Dine Dinner Digest. So, thank you again for tuning into the show. My name is Willie Hamilton, and this has been Real Talk. Peace. Yeah, man.
I had to go to the tower site.
Hey, man,
Okay, the
so
back door.
I went over there and hit that button. It says, click here to do something. Then it pops up and it says save.
Okay, yeah. So say you type up top, and then you hit save video, and make sure you unclick in the right bottom corner. It'll have private. Unclick it so it's not checked. So it'll show up.
Hold up. It said it saved it, real talk.
I'm gonna type your name in.
Where you say private?
Huh?
I don't see private.
See that one more time. Oh, it should be in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It shouldn't be in the dark. It should be like a very little box.
A what box?
It says private. Like a little box, and it says private right next to it in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
I don't see it, man. I see
Yeah, if you don't see it, just make sure you save a video, and then I'm gonna private later.
yeah, I saved it.
Okay. Okay, what I do, I'll make it on private later. So, have girls got there yet? What's up, guy? Okay, shit, I'll be back in, if you have to roll out, just let the gate down.
Man, I ain't got, come on, man. How long before you get here, man?
About 15 minutes. I'm finna head back now.
Alright.
Alright.
What up? Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Just went to pick up Marquise from work and now she's driving. Hello?
Yeah, so you didn't see it.
Oh, of course I did. I watched it on my phone.
Um,
I saw the whole thing.
um,
I do it on my phone. That way I can take it with me. I can go in the kitchen.
I think you're right. The 13 people talking about signing up and coming.
Well, you know what the thing is? That's a Facebook page. There's women who are saying they're coming. I mean, adult women who have jobs. They're like saying they're going because they're actually liking it.
Anyway,
So
so you
like
want
Robin,
you gonna put it down on
what?
you gonna put it down on it.
Hold on. No. You're gonna keep going.
You sure you stopped recording? You hit it again or something?